It's Thursday, the 10th of October, 2024. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories to get through in 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1. Company insolvencies have hit a record high with more than 6,600 firms failing in the 6 months to September, with Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria hardest hit.
The sectors struggling most are construction, accommodation and food services, retail trade, professional, scientific and technical services, and manufacturing, according to ASIC's latest data. High inflation and interest rates, cyber attacks and too much regulation has been blamed for the jump in insolvencies. Last financial year, there were almost 10,800 insolvencies. It's been rising steadily since the end of the government's COVID-19 supports. The biggest cause of failure was inadequate cash flow or excessive cash utilisation. Basically, that means companies have held on to too much cash, not used it wisely, and the business has suffered. There's also the growing problem for many businesses of the ATO chasing money.
Sean, most of these insolvencies are smaller businesses, and that sector is really struggling at the moment.
Sure is. The Council of Small Business Organisations Australia and CommBank report into the small business sector launched yesterday highlights that small businesses are grappling with increasing costs in energy, rent, insurance, interest rates and IR changes. The report says there's also a crucial shortage of both skilled and unskilled workers, and the energy transition is causing headaches. Nearly half of small businesses have yet to embark on their green transition due to financial barriers and a lack of knowledge. Also, cybersecurity threats are a growing problem, with almost half of all cyber attacks targeting small businesses, with cyber criminals using increasingly sophisticated methods.
All right, moving on to story number 2 now, and Rio Tinto will pay $9.9 billion to acquire Arcadium Lithium in an all-cash deal, Sean.
Yes, the Arcadium directors have given the okay. The offer was pitched at a 90% premium to Arcadium's market value on Friday. Now it goes to shareholders. A little bit of an opportunistic bid because lithium prices have fallen so much. Shareholders already said that Rio Tinto would have to pay a fair price or more, and it seems to have done that. Rio chief Jakob Stausholm said Rio would use its financial firepower to accelerate project development at a time when Arcadium has been slowing projects to preserve cash. The deal will give Rio control of a vertically integrated lithium business that supplies about 5% of global supply of the battery mineral, according to the Fin Review.
Story number 3, AFL team Collingwood is the most valuable sports club in Australia with a brand value of $145 million, while number 2 is the NRL team, the Brisbane Broncos.
Success doesn't always translate to value though, Michael. That's according to the report by Brand Finance Australia. The Brisbane Lions and Sydney Swans played in the grand final but are ranked 10th and 11th most valuable AFL brands. The South Sydney Rabbitohs were close to last on the NRL table, but had the third highest brand value in that league. Overall, 7 AFL teams and 3 NRL teams make up the top 10. Brand Finance MD Mark Crowe said the best way to boost brand is to be successful, have a rich heritage, and operate in a fast-growing market. In terms of favourite sports among Australians, according to the report, it goes AFL, Olympics, NRL, cricket, football, as in soccer, tennis and Formula One.
Story number 4, Hurricane Milton was on track to make landfall in Florida sometime this morning, Australian time, with US President Joe Biden urging people in its path to evacuate their homes.
The hurricane is heading towards a highly populated stretch of the state's west coast with winds of up to 165 miles an hour. That's about 270 km an hour. It could be among the worst storms to hit Florida in a century. Global risk advisory firm Guy Carpenter said Milton could cause the largest number of evacuations since Hurricane Irma in 2017, when 6.7 million people left their homes. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor said, I quote, "This is literally catastrophic." Oil giant Chevron has shut down oil production in the Gulf of Mexico. Airports in Tampa and Orlando are closed. Walt Disney's closed. Let's hope the next few hours go okay.
Last one, Sean. Story number 5. The tech billionaires are getting richer and widening the gap between the mega wealthy and the rest of us.
8 of the top 10 richest people in the world made their money in technology. Tesla's Elon Musk is number one, worth about 256 billion US. That's about the annual GDP of the country of Portugal. Meta's Mark Zuckerberg is number two, worth 207 billion US. Amazon's Jeff Bezos comes in at number three, 204 billion US, according to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. The 8 individuals have made a total of 263 billion US dollars just this year, about 33 billion each. The 2 non-techies in the top 10 are LVMH owner Bernard Arnault, who's lost more than 10 billion this year, and legendary investor Warren Buffett, who's made about 21 billion this year. Biggest winners so far in 2024, Zuckerberg, up 82 billion US. Nvidia's Jensen Huang, up 72 billion US, and Oracle's Larry Ellison, his wealth has jumped by 62 billion US.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Thursday, the 11th of October, 2024. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. And every Thursday, there's a new episode of our property podcast called The Property Pendulum, a joint production between Fear and Greed and our friends at Domain. This week's episode is all about why some property listings leave off the asking price. I'll put a link in today's show notes. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.